"Hey, honey." Ruth stumbled through the doorway, stifling a hiccup as the hallway light assaulted her blurry vision. Welcome to the Stories Unheard channel. Please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Enjoy the story. Ruth's husband, Michael, sat on the couch, engrossed in a game on his phone. "I'm sorry, I'm so late. The girls and I got carried away." "Clearly," Michael replied. "Is there any alcohol left in the state, or did you drink it all?" "Don't be mad at me. You know I love you," Ruth slurred her words. Michael wasn't exactly mad, but he wasn't happy either. He hated it when Ruth had too much to drink, and it's been happening more and more often lately. She'd also become more distant and secretive. He was suspecting that she'd developed a drinking problem. Ruth plopped onto the sofa next to him and put her head on his shoulder. "I'm just so tired," she said before dozing off. Michael gently stroked her head. "What's going on with you, hun? Why do I feel like you're slipping away?" he asked, knowing full well that he wouldn't get a reply. "Because I'm having an affair, you dummy," Ruth whispered to Michael's immense shock and surprise. "You're what?" But there was no getting another word out of Ruth. She was passed out. Michael's head was spinning. It all made sense now. Every little bit of his wife's strange behavior fit this explanation. The thought never even crossed his mind. Why didn't he think of it? How could he be so trusting? They'd been married for 9 years, and he literally never once thought Ruth could ever cheat on him. They didn't have any kids, but it was a mutual decision, and neither one of them ever regretted it. Ruth was an artist, and not a very successful one, so Michael took care of the family expenses, never once complaining that Ruth didn't bring anything to the table. He always supported her. "It looks like I was wrong about a lot of things. I thought we had a perfect life together, perfect marriage. I thought we'd grow old together. Why did you have to ruin everything?" Michael whispered. He carefully pulled his shoulder from under Ruth's head and went into the kitchen, trying to collect his thoughts and prepare for a nasty confrontation the next morning. At that point, he noticed Ruth's phone laying on the floor by her purse. Never before had he allowed himself to look through her phone, but given her confession, he felt like he had the right to know the truth. Half an hour later, Michael made 2 conclusions. First, his wife trusted him completely. So much so that she didn't feel the need to delete messages or even pictures of her lover from her phone. And second, she'd been having an affair for over a year. His name was Robert, and they met at an art festival Ruth attended a couple of years ago. It started with a seemingly innocent friendship, but quickly grew into a passionate affair. Michael sent himself the message history and a bunch of their photos together and put his wife's phone back where she left it. He never managed to fall asleep that night, searching for answers in his head, trying to figure out why she did it. But the more he thought about it, the angrier he got. He wasn't at fault here. He did everything to make Ruth happy. It was all on her, and he needed her to pay for her betrayal. The next morning, Ruth woke up with a throbbing headache and no recollection of her confession. When Michael realized that Ruth didn't remember coming clean, he knew it was his chance. He pulled himself together and pretended like nothing had changed. Over the next few days, Michael continued to play the role of the perfect husband, all the while planning his revenge. Their anniversary was coming up in 2 weeks. Michael was planning to surprise Ruth with a family reunion and a vow renewal ceremony. He even booked her favorite restaurant in advance and already made arrangements with the entire family. He even hired a photographer. Well, he wasn't about to cancel all that. Except for the fact that now it was going to be a divorce party. Michael had previously ordered little brochures with pictures of their family's 10-year history printed out as keepsakes for the guests. That was one detail he needed to change. He switched out all the cute family anecdotes for screenshots of Ruth's texts with her lover and replaced their family pictures with pictures of Ruth with Robert. Meanwhile, Michael hired a lawyer and had divorce papers drawn up. He had proof of his wife's infidelity, as well as proof that he was the one to pay the mortgage on their house, as well as all the other bills, so it didn't look like his wife would get much in the divorce. Then, Michael made sure the divorce papers would be served to his wife at a specific time during their celebration dinner. All that was left for him to do was wait. Wait and continue to pretend that everything was fine. When the day of their anniversary came, Michael kissed Ruth good morning and said that he had a surprise prepared for her. He asked her to be ready to leave at 6 p.m. and wear her best dress. Ruth spent the day in a nervous flutter of anticipation. She's been suspicious of Michael's behavior ever since she came home drunk. Usually, a hangover earned her a silent treatment at best, a scathing lecture at worst. This time, however, Michael was acting as if nothing was wrong, and now he also prepared a surprise for her? She was worried. By 6 p.m., Ruth was a nervous wreck. Michael, dressed in a crisp suit, ushered her out the door, a limousine waiting discreetly at the curb. The car ride was painfully silent, the luxurious velvet interior amplifying the unspoken tension between them. The restaurant, bathed in warm, romantic lighting, looked familiar. It was their usual anniversary spot. Relief washed over Ruth, only to be replaced by a flicker of doubt as she noticed the unusually large number of people gathered in the private room they were led to. As the door swung open, Ruth froze. There, around a beautifully decorated table, sat her entire extended family, beaming siblings, parents with tear-filled eyes, nieces and nephews chattering excitedly. It was a scene straight out of a dream, except for the one glaring omission. Michael's family was nowhere to be seen. Confusion morphed into panic as a waiter approached, handing out small, glossy brochures. "A gift for our guests," he announced with a flourish. Ruth's heart hammered against her ribs as she opened the brochure. A picture of her and Michael, younger and carefree, smiled back at her. The caption underneath, however, came with a cruel twist. Year 1, our love story begins. Year 10, our story ends. The following pages were all full of evidence of her infidelity, screenshots of her messages with Robert and their pictures together. The chatter died down as the weight of the brochures sank in. Her family's faces, previously filled with joy, were etched with a mix of disappointment and anger. Her parents, whom she hadn't seen in months, looked at her with heartbroken eyes. Just as Ruth's world threatened to completely shatter, the door swung open again. A young man with a messenger bag walked in. "Ruth Anderson?" "Yes, that's me." "You've been served," the man said, and handed her an envelope. The entire party fell completely silent. "Michael, please, don't do this. We can work this out. We can go to counseling. It was a mistake. I don't want to lose you. Please, give me another chance." "We're done, Ruth. I don't know why you did it, and I don't want to know. I loved you, and I trusted you, and you betrayed me and the life we built together. I'll be gone for 2 days. Get your things out of the house before I come back." Michael walked out, sad but proud. He didn't believe in second chances. How do you guys feel about Michael's revenge? Do you think Ruth deserved it? Would you be able to do something like that? Or would you just quietly separate and go your own way? Let's talk about it in the comments. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel